welcome to the Saturday edition of The Box Seat. I'm Adam McGrath and again joined by Mark Olmos. And Mark, a very exciting racing card in front of us.
Can't wait for this one, Adam. There's a few real big hits and there's a couple of very tough jobs ahead of us, but we'll find some winners.
Let's get straight into it though and take a look at the conditions. The rail is at an inside position, expecting a perfect day for racing as well. Running on a good four, it is perfect, set up for a cracking day of racing. So let's get into race number one. It is the Amelia Park Wines Handicap over the 1800 metres. Just the 8 runners to take a look at, and lacks a little bit of depth, but I think the top chances really stand out in this. The Regal Commanders, the Northridge, and even an Uncle George dropping in weight.
They do. We might see those Oakland Park stud colours salute, but hard to go past Regal Commander. We'll have a look at it winning last start, beating Poonamoo.
And Rain back last is back to a walk. They're in the straight. Corporate Larrikin, he's giving them something to catch. Corporate Larrikin at the 200 a length. Regal Commander, Poonamoo 2 lengths behind them. Spin to wheels, then I'm feeling lucky. Corporate Larrikin tackled by Regal Commander. Now Poonamoo. Regal Commander shaken up by Pike. Got the head in front from Poonamoo driving, but Regal Commander.
It was a good run there by Regal Commander, and I guess there's a little bit of question mark around the form lines of Poonamoo, but for mine, they really held up on Saturday when we saw Star Exhibit to race through on the rail and win there, so it was a big tick of mine. This horse has only won over the 1400 metres, stepping up to the 1800 metres is a few concerns, but should be able to sit just behind the speed, which I think will come from the likes of an Uncle George, and I think it's still going to have the turn of foot and prove too strong, so I'm in his corner. I think he'll get the job done in this field.
Remembering also last time, not so much yourself, but for me, I thought giving Poonamoo 4 kilos was going to be a very hard task. Did it comfortably, and look, steps up again here, but should be very hard to beat Regal Commander. We've also got Northridge, who we know is a good, solid galloper and has raced at this class before, winning last start, and actually has a really reasonable weight here.
Yeah, as you said, carries a 56 kilos, hasn't won further than 1500 metres, but it's won 2 of its past 3. Again, if it's an honest tempo in this race, does have a really good turn of foot. I've got a few questions about if it comes down to a sprint, whether he's going to be able to out-sprint Regal Commander and where he's going to be as well in condition to the run. But Northridge for mine, it's a 2-horse race in my opinion, and that's between those two.
We've also got Uncle George in here, who has won its last 2 starts at Ascot really nicely with 2 plum rides, just sitting behind the leader and winning. Blinkers go on. You know, when it won last start here, it was 2100 metres and then back down to 1800 and 1800 again here. So the blinkers come on, and just to sharpen it up, I guess, but I can see it getting just as good a run when it won those 2 starts.
Won 2 of its past 4. Blinkers on, as you mentioned, has a really good track and distance record. The biggest positive here is it's the obvious leader in the race, so it'll be able to get out in front and then run on. 54.5 kilos is a big positive as well. Got my concerns. I just don't think it'll have the turn of foot to out sprint the Regal Commanders and Northridge, but if conditions do suit with those east leaves in the rail and inside position, it can provide some cheek. There's no doubt about that. We'll take a look at the selections for race number 1. I'm going to go with number 2, Regal Commander, from 3, Northridge, number 6, Pushing Shapes, and 4, Uncle George.
No Cougar Express to follow this time for Uncle George, but I'm putting him on top of number 2, Regal Commander, 5, next contestant, and 3, Northridge.
Race number 2 at Ascot, it is the Marjorie Charlson Classic over the 1200 metres, an event for the fillies and mares. Only the 6 runners, and I think you could narrow it to 3, possibly even 2.
Possibly even 1 for me. Magnificio returns. We know how good this mare is. She's a Group 1 winner, and her trial makes her... She's in good order this time in. But we'll have a look at last week, the win of Wink and a Nod in the listed Grandstand Cup.
Wink and a Nod now coming to the outside with her run. She's putting in at the 250. Dream Lifter quickly gathered up by Wink and a Nod. She sailed past them now with 150 to travel. Further back is Street Bandit, Respondent running on. Wink and a Nod though draws away from them. The Grandstand Cup's all over, and if you're in the Grandstand you can cheer her home to victory.
Really good performance there by Wink and a Nod. I think it was the best bet of the year almost going through so far. The rain came, which absolutely suited to a T. 55.5 kilos. As I said in last week's box seat, had a 7 kilo swing on horses like Young Lionel, and Battle Hero was always going to be too good. Lucy Warwick rode an absolute treat. There's a few negatives though for this start. You drop back to the 1200 metres, which isn't ideal. It's going to be on a good 4 as well, so the sting out of the track goes. And there's going to be a little bit of early speed where Wink and a Nod may have to work that little bit harder. Look, she can win this race. I'm with you. I've got Magnificio on top. She is the only horse I think that can legitimately beat Magnificio and cause a couple of issues in the race.
Yeah, when the rain came on Saturday, the money came just as hard for it. But I was having a look back through this mare's record, and Justin Warwick has done this a couple of times with her, bringing her back down in distance. And she's performed well. She hasn't won, but she's performed well, which she should do again today. As we mentioned, Magnificio, Group 1 winning, daughter of Magnus. She's a star. We know how good she is, and an excellent trial. most recently, and we've got number 6 Military Rain, who is a bit of a smoky at the bottom of the weights there, who can definitely run a race here first up.
Yeah, Military Rain's one that's 2 from 2 first up, and also has a good record at the distance. A little bit of a question mark around the run at Ascot. It comes into this without a trial, so you take it that the camp's confident here. Barrier 4, only 53 kilos with William Pite to ride. Can roll forward. Will, I think, be able to lead this race, which is probably a bonus there, but I think just needs more than 6.5 kilos to be able to keep a horse like Magnificio off, the Group 1 Winterbottom Stakes winner as well, and that is the way that I'm going to be selecting. I think she's going to be too good. Number 1 on top, from number 2, Wink and a Nod, number 6, Military Rain, and 3, Cadenza.
I'm with you as well, Adam. I've got number 1, Magnificio on top of 2, Wink and a Nod, 6, Military Rain, and 3, Cadenza.
Race number 3 at Ascot, it's over the 1,500 metres, and we've got a horse going for 5 wins in a row.
What a great performance last start, in the Raconteur. We'll have a look at that run of All G winning the Raconteur Stakes.
And Lightning in my veins to the outside, just holding, pushing shapes a little tight at the 200 metre mark, and All G races up now alongside of Cubit and Cundy. Showy Chloe has to call upon all her reserves. She's trying to dig in. All G's got something to offer. Showy Chloe trying to run her down. All G, Showy Chloe got to dive in.
Yeah, look, an amazing effort there. I was on Showy Chloe, and the whole way down the straight, you were just waiting for her to go past. It was as simple as that, but he just continued to fight, and the ride from Brad Parnham again, we know how strong he is, really able to push this horse out. A lot of ticks came from that race. The 1,500 metres on a slow track, it really showed that could get that 1,500 comfortably. The push out as well with the 56 kilos. Now, this is again a really good race, but dropping down to the 54 kilos, I can see All G just going to the front and winning this race again.
I think so. It's been taking every step up in class so well. It drops back in class and back in weight. He should be just far too hard to beat here. We've also got number 1 Woodbine, who improved last start, which we didn't expect, but ran okay.
Yeah, it did. And again, if leaders are suited, I think Woodbine can roll to the front from barrier 3 and improve. As you mentioned, drops in class from 78 plus to a 72 plus, and only goes up that 1 kilo as well with a claim to Jordan Turner. So Woodbine, you'd hope that improvement will keep coming, but still needs to improve dramatically on what we've seen so far.
And just quickly, number 3, I'm Feeling Lucky, was a better run than it looks on paper here first up. Was 2 lengths behind Regal Commander, and second up record is okay, but I think can really run a race here.
I think this is the smoky in the race. It is my second selection as well. Jared Noski to ride here. Grant Williams had this horse for a little while. It'll be the second start so far. She normally takes a long time to build into her campaign. We saw her trial was really good. The first up run, as you mentioned, I thought was probably the eye-catching run of the race as well. So she is one that if they decide to have a little bit of speed in the race with All G and Woodbine, that she can run over the top of them and add a little bit of value there in your early quaddy if you're playing that way. But we'll take a look at the selections now. I am going with All G to make it 5 in a row. From number 3, I'm Feeling Lucky. Number 1, Woodbine, and 2, Back to a Walk.
Adam, I've got the 4 on top as well. All G on top of 3, I'm Feeling Lucky. 1, Woodbine, 7, Ray Enigma.
Race number 4, it is the listed Schweppes Mel Vista Stakes over the 2,200 metres for the Colts and Geldings. They step up now that extra 400 metres from what we've been seeing, and it may test a few of these gallopers out.
A very intriguing race. There's a few well-performed ones over distances. We'll have a look at the replay of last start winner and the half to the Perth Cup winner, Real Love. Number 1, Heartstarter.
To grab the lead from Cubit and Cundy. Here comes Who Dat Singer, a length and a half away with Heartstarter. He's starting to follow down the middle of the track. Big Red Costa grabbed by Who Dat Singer. Here's Heartstarter though. Heartstarter gather them up with 100 left to travel. Heartstarter draws alongside Who Dat Singer. Put paid to him. Kiora Kutu runs on late, but Heartstarter won. Heartstarter.
3 wins in a row now for Heartstarter, gone from a Bunbury maiden over the 1,700 metres to winning the listed Piper and the listed Roberts as well. But just thought there was a few signs that Heartstarter might just start becoming a little bit more vulnerable now. Speaking to Bob Peters after that race, and he didn't expect these horses to be able to run at that distance as strongly. He mentioned Arcadia Dream in the same, but mentioned how strong the mother's side must be. Now, for mine, the best run in that race, and you saw the replay, was Kia Orakudu. The way that he was able to close over that final 100 metres. Now he's getting an extra 400, and he's getting in a 1.5 kilo swing. For mine, this is the best bet of the day. I think Kia Orakudu is really going to show the class, then go to the Derby and be the one to beat by a country mile as well. So I'm really keen, Kia Orakudu, this start to turn the tables on Heartstarter. And if you're thinking the same, this is a time now to get on the early market and get into the Derby, because if Kia Orakudu wins this, the price gets slashed.
And we know how good he's just a class in this field, and we saw that first up when he's ridden a bit too close, and then last start he was given a perfectly patient ride and allowed to settle. Was worked up a bit around the turn, but still finished off so well, and he'll definitely be in the finish for this race. And we move on to number 3, Who Dat Singer, who has run a couple of great seconds, and last start was really good with a little bit of cover.
Yeah, I think you got first and second side up, and then it's trying to figure out who finishes third and fourth. And yeah, I think you can have Who Dat Singer, Big Red Costa, and also Low Longer in those three. Who Dat Singer and Big Red Costa, there wasn't much between them, 2 lengths just under, and there's a 1.5 kilo swing here difference. I thought Big Red Costa was a really good run. We mentioned in the mounting yard before that $101 chance, and when you looked at the prices compared to others and the distance it was beat, it was bizarre how it went out. Sean O'Donnell takes the ride as well. The extra distance may suit. The one that I think will really improve is number 7, Low Long. Love the way this horse just attacked the line, so the extra 400 metres is a bonus, and I think it can probably pip Who Dat Singer and Big Red Costa, who may just struggle over that 2,200 metres as well. We'll take a look at the selections. As I said, Kia Orakuda, I think one of the best bets of the weekend. From number 1, Heartstarter, number 7, Low Long, and 3, Who Dat Singer.
I've gone the 3 on top, Who Dat Singer, from 2, Kia Orakuda, 1, Heartstarter, and 7, Low Long.